it is so sad that something that is so significant as a part of our culture, our own, don't even embrace it, and we are enslaved by our own. We say emancipate ourselves from mental slavery. We say we are emancipated, but we are in bondage, and it is our very own that keeps us and stifles us. That is what makes it even worse. Free up the people, them Locs. Free up, free it up. Free it up. Now tell me what you are gonna do now. Tell me what you gonna do now. Tell me what you gonna do now that the youth are all them roots. You can't water down and dilute. You can't hide the truth from the youths. You can't steal the fruit, not the roots. And the youths are all them roots. So guys, I just filmed that video, but I didn't get dressed for this video, but it just kind of weighed on me, and I decided that I need to do this video. There has been a recent brawl in Jamaica where basically parents were appealing against primary school's decision on basically banning their child from school because of her dreadlocks, telling her that she needs to basically get rid of them to attend school. And I guess the parents were not in agreement with that, and they decided that they're going to take it to this. I'm not sure if it's the Supreme Court, but what weighed heavily on my heart is the fact that the court actually agreed that the school had rights to ban students from wearing dreadlocks in school. And I just want to give my 2 cents, but before I even go into giving my 2 cents, I want for you to actually see the video for yourself.
The Constitutional Court today ruled in favor of the Kensington Primary School, which barred a Rastafarian student from attending the institution. The child's family expressed disappointment with the ruling and are now considering taking the matter to the appeal court.
Dale and Shireen Virgo put on a brave face after leaving court on Friday. They'd been embroiled in an almost 2-year court battle with the Kensington Primary School in Portmore, St. Catherine over their daughter's hair. She's a Rastafarian. The parents were told in 2018 that in order for the child to be admitted to the school, she would have to cut her hair. The school arguing that it was for health reasons and it did not want a lice outbreak. Legal action was taken and the court ordered the school to admit the child pending the outcome of the case. Lawyers representing the Virgos had been arguing that denying the child admittance to the school because of her hair was a breach of her constitutional rights. The court, however, ruled Friday there was no breach.
I would say respectfully that I'm hurt as a black man to know that in this country there are schools that can tell your kids to cut your hair because you have lice. The constitutional rights is the freedom of expression, your right to religion, belief and conscience, equality before the law, equity, access to education. It should not be on the basis that your hair is if you have dreadlocks here, that you have to cream your hair or you have to conform. Conforming is still a slave construct, and our constitutional rights, it's very new. The charter is very new, and every opportunity to test it is something that we certainly will always do.
In expressing disappointment with the outcome of the case, the child's father, Dale Virgo, referred to what he deemed as the continued systematic racism and discrimination in the form of hair.
Look at the world stage right now, in 2020, Black Lives Matter, and, everywhere, people are declaring that, and we have to continue to fight and to declare that, we have a voice, we matter, Do not erase our heritage or Africanness, So that is very important, So we are still hopeful, we are still optimistic, and we're going to fight along with ISAT, to the farthest we can go with the courts.
We failed in our attempts to get a comment from the Kensington Primary School. It's now left to be seen whether the school will allow the child to continue her education.
No, I don't even want to go further into this because I have much to say. And first things first, how dare you? Like, how dare you? How dare the government? How dare the courts? How dare anyone who has the audacity to even utter the words out of their mouth? You need to cut your hair before you are able to attend school, or else you will be banned from school. Like, I mean, how dare you to tell a small child or the parent of that child that they need to cut their hair? First things first, if this was a male child, then I wouldn't even be so aggravated by the fact, but this is a female child, and telling a female child that they need to cut their hair, which might be like a religious reason, because we know persons have religion. Rastafarianism is a religion in Jamaica. Contrary to popular beliefs, it is still very significant here in our culture, and for you to come out, whether it is a religious point of view or it is just because of your so-called health issues, how dare you to tell someone that they cannot wear their hair the way they want it? And mind you, I have went ahead and I did my research to see how this child here was looking, and she had some awesome hairstyles, very neat and very kept. Now tell me the prejudice and the bias that are still existing here in Jamaica, and it is so sad. And what makes the icing on the cake is that the fact that the court will really rule that the school did not violate the child's rights by telling her to cut her hair, and basically telling schools that okay, you can ban a child from coming to school, ban a child from education, ban a child from a better future just because of what she chooses to do with her hair, which I'm sure is not violating any policies. Now tell me, guys, you know what had made me even more mad? The fact that there's not much persons that are advocating for this. I looked at the trend, and the persons that I really do see speaking up about this are persons who have dreads themselves and locks. What about us? What about us with our perms or with our natural hair? Don't we have a say? Or because it doesn't affect us, we don't decide to voice our opinions? Now is the time, guys, that we need to really come in and we need to stand for our rights. There's no way that you can deny a child's education just because of how our hair is. Like, that is absolutely ridiculous, and I can't even seem to kind of fathom why that is even something that would even reach to the court. It shouldn't even have reached to the court, first things first, but it has reached, and they had really ruled against the parents by they did not violate the rights and that they can actually ban dreadlocks from school. I mean, this is gonna go back into cultural and social prejudices and all of that, because Rastafarianism is like the backbone of Jamaican culture. We know our culture, what our culture is, but to the outside persons, even if you talk to persons outside of Jamaica who are not really frequent to Jamaica, in their head we're all Rastafarians down here. It is so a popular part of our culture that persons believe that that is how all our hair is, or probably goes naturally like that out of our scalp. And in my head, like, why is it that in Jamaica we have to get the appraisal from other persons before we actually accept and love ourselves for who we are? I mean, our culture has to go through and be approved from other persons and other countries before we can really and truly in ourselves appreciate what we do have. Like, we talk about tourism, a lot of persons know us from our Rastafarian culture, so who are you to tell us that we cannot lock our hair? And why are not more of us advocating against this? Why are more of us not giving our opinions on this issue? I mean, I have cream hair, this is permed hair, but it hurts me to the core, because this is not just a hair issue, this is a race issue, this is a religious issue, this is just an issue with nappy hair or hair that persons deem as bad hair. And in my videos, you always hear me tell you there's no such thing as bad hair, but certain types of hair, like example with, or probably those 4C hair or dreadlocks hair, they are deemed like bad hair, and your hair is unkept and your hair is unclean. But you wouldn't look at my hair as a perm hair and say, oh, your hair is unclean. Sometimes I don't even wash my hair like for an entire month. Nobody will tell me that, oh, your hair is unsanitary or you might have lice or whatever. Matter of fact, tell me, you see lice around the pin head? You see roach come out tight or farty leg or anything, something therefore go deem it unsanitary and she might be bringing her own lice? So you're telling me that dreadlocks now is actually like harboring lice or harboring insects and all of these things. Like, how is it unsanitary more than any other hair? You're telling me that something that is growing from someone's scalp, hair that they have on their body and they have all their life, you're gonna tell me that it is unsanitary just because it is locks? Like, guys, we need to kind of push ourselves away from that. We need to have persons really coming in and really reach to the courts to say, like, what are you guys really doing as heads of government? Like, what are you guys doing in the public sector? Like, and that is why I'm glad I have my YouTube right here, because I have a voice and nobody can silence my voice on this platform. And that is why I'm glad that I have this platform, because how is it that I'm going to talk about here and want to talk about your growth and all of those things when I can't even take up issues like this and use on my platform to raise awareness, to show people that some of these persons ain't I mean, the audacity and just the plain ignorance, just the plain, I don't think that they realize that this is discrimination to the max and this is just bad stereotyping. How can you say someone, because they have locks, it is like affecting person's health, or it is a health issue? And you go to the point that you're going to deny a person. Mind you, for my viewers who don't know, Jamaicans are here. There are a lot of Jamaicans here that are suffering more than those that are well off. And the fact that you're going to deny a youngster from an education because of what her hair looks like just tells me that this country has no better going. Like, there's not going to be any progress in this country, because how can you deny a child of education because of how her hair looks? And while I say I boil this down back to racism and discrimination and all of that, is because I have been to schools who tell you that you can't twist your hair up in certain amount of twist. How does the twist affect you? How does the twist affect your education or anybody else? I have been into institutions who told males that you can't have your hair high. Your hair has to be like low shaved. Yet still, I see someone with probably has a fairer skin color or has straighter hair or curlier hair, don't have naps like me or the rest of majority of the persons here, going around with hair high up here. And you know what they're gonna say? If you have your hair high, it's unkept. But a person that has, to them, better quality hair will not be seen as being unkept. How ignorant are we? When are we going to break ourselves from mental slavery? Bob Marley said, emancipate yourself from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our minds. It is so sad that something that is so significant as a part of our culture, our own, don't even embrace it, and we are enslaved by our own. We say emancipate ourselves from mental slavery. We say we're emancipated, but we're in bondage, and it is our very own that keeps us and stifles us. I just can't see how I could have passed this opportunity to really speak on this, and I don't mind if they really see it, and I'm calling them out for what it is. Y'all are very ignorant. And it is so wrong in so many aspects of life. The social prejudice, the discrimination, just the plain ignorance and inhumanity of this act is just, it is just so mind-blowing. And then you wonder why a lot of persons just turn their backs on Jamaica and they just kind of just leave the country and just go elsewhere. I've seen a lot of stars here who are stifled because our very own don't stand up for them. And our very own don't support them. But you know what we run and we support? We support foolery, we support comedy, we support things that are of no significance. But things that are really significant are important, we do not support them. And when these persons run off and they go out, they do so excellent. They are so talented and they do so excellent that persons grab them up and they really embrace, and you hear, oh, Jamaica this and Jamaica and that, and you know what, it is our same people that come back and claim them. When they were here, they were not even known, they were not important to anybody. But as soon as other persons claim them, or as soon as persons highlight them for what they are, then we are the ones that are gonna run and we're gonna come and say, oh yes, he's Jamaican, and we tag ourselves on them to act as if we are supporting, or act as if we're a nation that supports each other. But we are not. We are not. Let us not hide the fact that we are not supportive of each other, and we sit and we discriminate and we make persons feel less than. How can you make someone feel less than by the way their hair is? Huh? And you know, the prejudices are naturally coming from our own race, and that is what makes it even sad. That is what makes it even worse. Free up the people, them Locs. Free it up. Free it up. Because it affects no one. It is not impeding on anyone's personal space. It is not a hazard to anyone. Let the child learn. Every child must learn. Every child shall learn, and every child must learn. And what they have on their head or social status, whether they can wear a certain type of clothes or they cannot, whether they're poor, they're rich, or they're rich, they are entitled. They are entitled to an education so that they can change this nation, which is leading down a negative path. We are already minorities, and with our naps in our hair, persons already see like ugly hair, bad hair. And then when persons go out and they get perms and they bleach their hair and they put in extensions, you same one turn around and you say, oh, they don't like their natural beauty and all of these things, when they are in such an environment that is very stifling and they just are trying to fit in. And that is not how it should be. Allow persons to express themselves. And if it is for religious persons, allow persons to choose what they want to believe in. Don't restrict person or stifle person because they're telling them that this is the way that they should go. And they should not do anything else but to go along this path. And why are we embracing it? I hate the fact that the persons that I'm seeing are actually persons who are deeply affected, and those are the persons that probably really has locks also. Well, where are my relaxed persons? Where are my natural hair persons? Why are we not standing up for these persons with dreadlocks? Why are we not standing up for them? Why are we even allowing this thing to kind of escalate into more negativity? Why are we not voicing, at least give your opinions? Not because I don't have locks doesn't mean that I am not going to stand up for them and stand up for justice. At the end of the day, it is totally absurd. I do not believe it. I do not embrace it. I do not condone it. Quite frankly, and I don't care who sees this. It is absolute rubbish, and I don't know why persons, and I don't see how the court will rule against it and allow schools to ban locks, and not seeing as a breach of the person's human rights. Guys, we really need to do better as a nation. Like, seriously, we need to do better. Rastafarianism is at the very midpoint of our culture, and even though you want to try to run away or shy away from it, it is still very part of it, and it is a part of our culture that is embraced all over the world. So why do we choose to not embrace it? It is ironic, Jamaica, the land of Rastas, but we are banning locks from school. I can't fathom it. I don't know about you, but I cannot process it. Allow persons to be able to express themselves. Allow persons to show their own uniqueness. Everyone cannot be the same. Let our kids break away from what are known. That enslavement mentality that we had grown up in. Let our kids not grow up in that same mentality. It is my hair and I'm not cutting it. Point blank, period. And I will, if it were me and if I were the parents, I will write it out court past court past court, because at some point someone sensible must be there to see that this is not something good and we can't allow this to be going on. We can't condone it. It is my hair and me nah cut it. So what are you gonna do now? Are you gonna deny me of an education? Are you gonna deny my child of an education because she decided to not cut her locks? Are you telling someone with a perm to cut their hair? Are you even assuming that someone who does not have locks have lice? So I didn't know that having locks or dreadlocks, I did not know that that automatically means that you're unsanitary, or you're having health issues, or things are crawling out of your hair, or it is a threat to other persons. Like, come on, guys. Like, we need to do better. Having this platform and speaking about hair and type 4 hair in general, it would be so bad of me not to use my platform to voice my concern. Because, guys, it is so sad. It is so sad. But guys, let me know what you think. What is your personal view on this issue? Dreadlocks being banned in school, like ruling, actually the court ruling that school did nothing wrong by banning the child from school because of her hair. Let me know down in the comments down below. I want to hear your opinion on this point of view. Be honest, I might get thumbs down in this video. I might have a lot of hate from this video, but frankly, I don't care. So, goodbye.